What is going on, everyone? It's Tay with Spectacular Gadgets, and I'm here to talk about my 2 weeks. 2 weeks it's been since I kicked my S9 Plus to the curb. So sorry. But if you ask me to describe how these last 2 weeks have been for me, I have 2 words: learning curve. And the learning curve is simply due to me being an Android fan, so things are a lot different on the iPhone compared to the S9 Plus. The iPhone X has a very premium design and feel, which is something I've become accustomed to with owning the last couple years of Samsung phones. One thing I forgot to mention is I did pick up the iPhone 8 Plus, the red edition, and I actually returned it in less than 24 hours. It was an absolute no-go for me because it was lacking the biometrics that I'm used to, and I needed something more than just a Touch ID. You have to remember, I'm coming from a fingerprint scanner, iris scanner, face scan, pen. I have all of these biometrics, and it was kind of difficult to just take the 8 Plus and just use my fingerprint, or the Touch ID as they call it. So the first thing that I had to get used to when using the iPhone X was the lack of customization. There is no customization with the iPhone compared to how Android phones have so much customization. It makes the phone more organized when you can customize your phone the way that you want. So I tend to go for the more clean look. I like the search bar on the front. I like the dock the way that I want, simple, clean. And as you see on the screen, it's just the time, the temperature, it's just clean. It's a clean look, and it just makes it look neater. One perk of using an Android device to maintain a clean and organized look is the beloved app drawer. With just a swipe up, I can get to all my apps. They're nicely tucked away from the home screen, so my screen is, again, nice and clear. If I want to scroll to the next screen, you see, I just have my calendar. It's not bombarded with a bunch of apps that just makes the phone look messy. But when I started using the iPhone, it was just really hard for me to get over the lack of organization because the apps are all just thrown on the screen, and there's no real efficient way to alphabetize or organize them without having to drill into the settings and go through all of that. And even when you do alphabetize the apps, if you have folders created, it yanks the apps out of the folders, which just prolongs everything. I'm hoping this gets brushed up on within the next update. We do not want all of our phones looking exactly alike. A better way to organize our devices is not too much to ask. Another issue that I found myself having to get used to was the lock screen notifications on the iPhone. If you take a look at my Samsung, you can see the lock screen that my notifications are categorized into what app sent the notification. And all I have to do, if I wanted to see the individual notification, is slightly pull down. And then when I'm done viewing, then I can just pull it back up until I'm ready to either dive into the notification or dismiss it. The iPhone notification system tends to individually list every single notification that you have, even if it's from the same app. It looks overwhelming, and it's just so unnecessary. If some of these things were implemented, it would make Apple devices so much better. One piece of technology that I found very impressive was Apple's Face ID. Face ID seemed to be very accurate. It worked every time for me. I didn't have to put it in a certain way to align it with my eyes or my face. It works at any angle, and it's just very fast. So I'm loving Face ID. Thumbs up to Apple. It's very good. One suggestion I do have is once the phone unlocks, it should go straight to the home screen. You shouldn't have to swipe up to unlock the phone. If you see with the Samsung phone, once I look at it and it detects my iris, you see how quick it went straight to the home screen. I didn't have to swipe up. Look at it and I go straight to my home screen. It would be so much more efficient to take away the swipe up to get to the home screen. So that's a little slight thumbs down. But I still like Face ID. So I've told you what I like, but I haven't told you what I love. I didn't think I could love anything about Apple because I'm an Android fan. I freaking love iMessage. No messaging app comes close to iMessage. And I'm sorry, Android fans. You can say you can use WhatsApp, you can do, but I'm saying iMessage is built into the iPhone. It's not something that you got to go and download and whatnot. It's quick. You get the recipient gets the message before the little zoom. I love the little Mr. Putt iMessage game that I play with one of my friends. It's very fun. It's not something I can do with the regular messaging app on Android. There's so many things that you can do within the iMessage app itself. You can add more games, you can draw, you can just do so many things. So that's one thing that I really, really love. The music app on iPhone is just that. It's just a music app. I don't really care for it. You really can't do anything but listen to the music. The music app on my Samsung, I can go into just their regular music app. You can play the music, but within the music app, you can do so much more. As you can see, I have all my music or my tracks in there. Let's pick a song. All right, so first of the month, Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I'm listening to it, but also I can share this track if I wanted to via Bluetooth, Wi-Fi Direct, confirm. Okay, and that's pretty cool. The music app on the iPhone, it's also very clean. It's a very clean interface, which I really like. You can also do a 3D touch move, which brings up options like delete from library, add to playlist, play next, play later, but there is no way for me to send this track to someone like I can when I'm using Android. One thing that I did notice that I do miss is the option to send certain files like music files, videos, movies, and I did that a lot using Wi-Fi Direct, which means I'm using my own Wi-Fi network to go ahead and submit or transfer these files to another device. Yes, I know you can use AirDrop, but that is only specific to Apple products, so that leaves me in a dilemma. What's next? The camera. I would say that the camera is okay, but the camera on the Samsung is feature rich. There's many more options within the camera app that you get right out of the box compared to having to possibly download a third-party app to add on to the iPhone camera. So let's take a quick little shot using the iPhone. Let's focus that. Okay, so I guess it's just about preference. So the iPhone does have different shooting features, as you see, but there's not many. And also, it would have been pretty cool if they incorporated the animojis within the camera app instead of the messaging app. That would have worked out way better, in my opinion, instead of just having it singled into the iMessage. Inside the Samsung, the AR emojis is incorporated inside the camera app, so it makes it easier to send and to actually just kind of try it out before you send it. And at least it's not just for the messaging app. So let's try the AR emoji, and here you go. I don't know if you can see it, but I can do this within the camera app. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. One thing that I'm super happy about is Apple finally, starting with the 8 series of iPhones, has started wireless charging. And that's a great thing because I have several wireless chargers sitting around from all my Samsung phones. So that's pretty cool. And now that I can just use one charger for all the phones that I have. So what's next? Oh, the speakers. The speakers are good on both devices. This is my first time having dual speakers on a Samsung. So that was different, so it sounded really cool. I was very excited about it. But Apple's been doing it for a while, so yay Apple, good job with that, because they've been doing it forever and it sounds great. Size, the phone is smaller. It's not a bad thing. It's easier to hold compared to the Note 8, but it's very slippery, so I do keep a case on it. I keep this clear case. It's the Spigen case. It's very sticky. I like sticky cases. It's nothing like having a slippery case when you're holding your phone and it slips and hits you in the head or in the face or in the mouth or in the eye and have a bloody nose. No, that's never happened to me. I'm just saying though. But here's another Spigen case that I use. And just to have different ones, because you know sometimes with the clear cases they get a little yellowy. I haven't experienced that yet with the Spigen clear one, but it hasn't been long enough. It's only 2 weeks. So also got the watch because S3 unfortunately does not play nice with the iPhone, so I had to end up buying the Apple Watch, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's a lot lighter, a lot smaller, and it pretty much does the same thing as the Gear S3, but it's for the iOS system, not Android. So it is what it is. So I can't say that one is better than the other. They're pretty good. So I like the integration between the watch and the phone. It's the same seamless integration with the Gear S3 and the Samsung device. I like the smoothness of the phone. It is pretty smooth, as you see. Oop. 1 point for the Android fans right there. Did y'all see that? But other than that, it doesn't really stutter. It is pretty buttery smooth. So I will give that to Apple. Another little thing I came across was this little ugly eyesore, that big ass hump on the camera. Like, why would you need it that big? I mean, so when you sit it down, it rocks. It's gonna rock, you know. That's pretty bad. But honestly, most of the time I have it in a case, so that really wouldn't bother me. But for those of you warriors who like to rock this expensive phone without a case, props to you. But if you look at the Samsung, you see it's pretty flush. It's flush, so you won't have that big camera hump. You sit it on the table, it's not gonna rock. It's no rocking there, so it's just fine. So all in all, the first 2 weeks, or at least like the first week after I stopped crying every night, it was just a learning curve, just to know how to operate the phone, as I said before, especially like how to get back to your recent apps. Because with the Samsung, if I can open it, okay, here we go. I have that recent apps button right there to your left, and as you see, there's all my apps. I have it in list view, and then I have a close all. That is awesome. Look at that, Apple. Are you seeing that? A close all. Here I have to I can swipe up and then stop, and then there's all my apps, and then that's just a lot to go through just to get to your apps. All these gestures you got to remember. It's not the most efficient way to do this. Another thing is Apple could be better at the file management app. Their file management app is disgusting. I can find my files. They're categorized in the way that they should be. I can make new folders when I want to and put the stuff in there, almost like PC. My files on Apple is a freaking joke. It's not user friendly whatsoever. So because of that, that's a thumbs down for the file manager. Let's see. I think I kind of went over everything as far as, it's only been 2 weeks with the phone, so it's not all bad things at all. As you see, there are things that I like. FaceTime is good. The delivery of messages is speedy fast, because iMessage is pretty cool. And yeah, that's how my 2 weeks have gone so far. I went and got a Velcro here, and I've already had the pencil because I did give my husband the iPad 2018 version, so I have the pen here. I'll probably do like a comparison now that because I'm still so fresh or new with Apple, and I'm still so used to my Android. The different, maybe I can compare what I like and don't like about the watches. I've already kind of told you about the phones, but then I can compare the iPad, and the Tab S3 is the one that I use for as far as Android anyways, so I can do comparisons like that as well. So that pretty much wraps it up on how my 2 weeks went with the phones. Oh yes, before I forget, another thing that I miss about Android is that there's no LED to let me know that I got a message or whatnot. On the Samsung, there's an LED if you have a message or something, and it flashes for you, so you know that you do have a text message or something. That's nice to know because, instead of having to keep picking up the phone to see if you got a message, I know your watch will tell you or whatnot, but it's nice to have the LED there to let you know. That's the last of my rant right now.